For today's craft, you will need markers, scissors, a glue stick, a piece of construction paper, a drawing of Jesus. I had mine drawn beforehand, so if you'd like, you can pause the video here and try and copy this one, or you can just make a new drawing all your own, and a clear piece of cellophane. Hello, bonjour, and tanse everyone. My name is Pearl and welcome back to another virtual Sunday school. I am so excited that you decided to join me here today because today we have a wonderful story and then a very cool craft afterwards. So let's jump right into it and get down to our story. One day, Jesus called out to his friends, Peter, James, and John. I'm going to climb this mountain to pray. Will you climb with me? Jesus' friends looked at each other, and they looked at the mountain. It was a very big mountain, but Jesus was their teacher, and they would go with him. Finally, everyone reached the top of the mountain. After a long climb, they had to catch their breaths. They were tired. For a while, they sat looking at the view. They could see so far. Jesus sat quietly looking out over the countryside. In his heart, Jesus was talking to God. The sun seemed so close and was shining so brightly that soon Peter, James, and John began to feel sleepy. Their eyelids began to droop. Then, a strange and wonderful thing happened. It was like a dream, but not a dream. There were dazzling bright lights in front of them that seemed to shine in and around Jesus. A cloud settled over Jesus, and they heard a voice saying, "This is my beloved. I love him. Listen to him." Peter, James, and John covered their eyes until a hand gently touched them. "Don't be afraid," Jesus was saying. "Come, it's time to go." The three friends followed Jesus back down the mountain. They thought about what they had seen. It was too wonderful to talk about. They walked on, quietly thinking about the mystery and the glory that they had experienced on that mountain. What an interesting story that was. Sometimes things like that are such a mystery. You know, how was he glowing like that? And where did the clouds come from? And it's incredible to listen to stories like that. And very, very cool to think about. Today, for our craft, I thought we could kind of recreate that story a little bit with some crafting materials. So let's go and see what we can do. Come on! Welcome back to the craft table, everyone. I'm so excited that we are going to be doing this craft today. Now, today we are going to make little sun catchers in the window. So our story was about Jesus and some of his friends going up to a mountain, and they hear the voice of God and Jesus. There's this light all around him, like sunlight. So we are going to try and recreate that in our craft. Now, I have this picture drawn out already. It's kind of just a silhouette of Jesus. You can use this one if you want to try and copy it, or you can do something like it, or you could just do a stick figure if you prefer that. But we're gonna start, after you draw this, we're gonna start by cutting it out. So once you have your little cutout of Jesus, you are going to glue him right into the center of your little cellophane square. So I have a glue stick here and we're going to glue him down. Awesome. Now, the next part of our step involves our piece of construction paper. So we are going to lay our cellophane square onto our piece of construction paper, and I am just going to mark the corners of my square. I'm going to create like a little frame kind of to frame my picture, and I just want to know how big I should make my frame. So my square goes out to here, and I want it to be a little wider. So what I'm going to do is I am going to draw a frame a bit like this. And I'm going to cut it out. And then I'll use the opposite side to hang it up because I don't want all these lines on my frame. So I'm going to cut it out, and I'll cut out the middle too, and then I should have a nice little frame. Now, again, because I don't want all of these little lines on it, I will eventually be flipping it over and having this side as the front. But for now, we're going to leave it like this because we are going to glue or tape our cellophane to our piece of paper. Now, I think I'll glue mine on, but I might add a couple of strips of tape for some reinforcement because we want to make sure it's nice and on there. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue just around the inside edges of my frame, just where the cellophane will touch. And now, making sure that our cellophane is upside down, we are going to stick it right on there. And like I said before, I think I'm going to add just a couple pieces of tape in the corners just to make sure it really, really sticks. And when we flip it over, we have this. So now is the time to pull out our markers and decorate. And you can decorate it however you want. You can write words on it, you can draw a little sunshine or clouds. I think I'm going to do a little bit of sun and a little bit of clouds and a little bit of just designs. So you can do whatever you'd like. So I've drawn some kind of sunlight behind him and some clouds below him. And you will be able to see this much better when I hang it in the window. So the last step I'm going to do, I am going to write along my frame the words that God said to the disciples when this was all happening. So God said, "This is my beloved. Listen to him." So I'm going to write that right now because he's talking about Jesus. Ta-da! And now we can go hang it in the window. So I have hung my little creation in the window, and it's a little bit hard to see the colors just because my camera keeps trying to adjust to the light, but they're definitely there, and in real life they look magnificent, and I'm so happy with my craft. Thank you so much for joining me today. I had so much fun reading that story and making our little window suncatcher craft, and it's hanging up over there in the window like it should be, so you won't see it behind me, but I am so glad you decided to join me today. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week. And until then, remember, God loves you very much, and you should love yourself too. Bye-bye, everyone.